Welcome to Mad Magic TV with Mono and Thallid, my two favourite sub-bitches.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Sorry about that. Liliana thinks sub means something different. Don't try to explain it to her. It will just not go well for you. So welcome back to Mad Magic. It has been a minute since we've been here. We have been around. We've been following everything. But we had to take a quick break. I needed to get back into the ditch where all my alcohol resides. I missed you, Thallid. How have you been?
I missed you too, man. I had to go out of town for work for a little while, but I'm back and I'm feeling fine.
That's what it was. He went out of town. Forget the thing I said about a ditch. That wasn't anything. I'm a good person. Outlaws at Thunder Junction. We'll get into one to buy, one to sell, one to spec on. But we need to do a recap on cards we've done in the past. One in particular. You know what, Thallid? Take it away. Tell everybody, because you told them so. You told them so. Tell everybody. Okay,
I'm an asshole, so I'm going to say, I told you so, motherfuckers. One of the cards that we talked about, Mindbreak Trap, it's coming up in the brand new Magic set that the pre-sale is this weekend. The value of the card, although a very good, strong card in the competitive Commander format, its price is predicated on scarcity. It hasn't been printed in about 15 years since the original Zendikar, and the price was climbing towards about $80 to $100. And we're already starting to see, as you can see in the slope in the MTG stocks graph, a steep decline right around the exact moment that the announcement of the reprint was happening. So this new set is going to have a sheeted reprint similar to Strixhaven's Mystical Archives, similar to some of the Brothers War artifacts that aren't going to be legal in standard. However, they're going to be in the packs.
Yep, even on TCG Player Awards getting out, they're saying near mint 63.98, except if we want to actually look at what they are selling. I got near mint copies for $51, including shipping, right? And as you said, $80 to $100 card. And you said on a previous show, sell this card. You said it's going to get reprinted. It's going to get reprinted. Now it's getting reprinted. Even at $50, people, do not ride the market down. Dump it now. What do you think the bottom floor is?
$10. I think
$10.
I think this card is going to drop. At least the Outlaws of Thunder Junction version is going to be a $10 to $15 card.
So do not listen to Thallid's one to buy and one to sell at your own peril. So with that,
one card to sell.
Well, thank you for that. So one to sell. I'm happy this one is on the list. I hate this damn card, but go ahead. What is our one to sell today?
We're getting squirrely as hell, and we're going to go with Deranged Hermit.
Deranged Hermit. So this friggin' card is a 1/1 for 5 mana, has an echo, meaning you have to pay 5 again on the following turn. When the Hermit enters the battlefield, put 4 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens on the battlefield, and then the Hermit gives all squirrels +1/+1. I never really thought much of this card. It's worth a lot of money right now. Why do you say to sell it, and why the heck was it ever worth any money to begin with?
This card has kind of been power crept out. There was a point in time where there was a deck called The Rock and His Millions, and also for short, The Rock. And that was really the first true mid-range deck. And when I say mid-range, I mean a deck that has basically a coin flip's chance to beat any other powerful deck in the metagame. So it really depends mainly upon the how good the pilot of the deck is and whether you win or not. And a lot of times in mid-range, when you're playing a mid-range deck. Now this card was really good because for 5 mana, 3 colorless and 2 green, you're immediately putting 5 bodies on the board, which essentially amounts to 4 2/2 creatures that were squirrels because of the +1 lord ability of the Hermit, and then the 1/1 Hermit himself. Although it did have the echo cost. Now, when this was played back in the standard days, and the Rock was a green-black deck, it was very good. They also had access to something like Gaia's Cradle. So the echo cost was like kind of a negligible thing, because as soon as you play the Hermit, all of a sudden your Gaia's Cradle at the very minimum is tapping for 5 mana. So the echo cost wasn't really like a huge deal. But 5 bodies on the board for, 5 mana, 4 of them 2/2s, was pretty fucking good. But we've kind of grown out of that. But the reason that people like it today, simply because people love squirrels. Like, people love cutesy little creatures. People love in casual Commander, they want to build their Chatterfang deck. They want to play a card like this because it also makes squirrels. I mean, they're cute as shit. Everybody can identify with that. But that's what's driving the price of this card up, is speculators see the new set Bloomburrow coming out. Bloomburrow is entirely dedicated to small rodents. It's all about rabbits, mice, squirrels. It's like a, it's the Magic the Gathering world on a very small scale. I mean, we've got like rabbits depicted as knights and stuff going to war with cats. So so it's like a cutesy little set, and everyone is speculating that that set is going to have a lot of squirrels. And the other speculation is that MH3 will also feature a lot of squirrels. Because when MH2 was originally designed, as I had read, there were a number of squirrels or squirrel-related cards that were omitted because they kind of broke Modern. R&D said that, if we had printed all of these cards, it would have been a really dominant, it would have created a format that was conducive for a dominant squirrels deck, like an overpowering deck. So there's a huge possibility, when R&D creates cards, they put these cards on the back burner and they might print them in a future set. So we might see a lot of those cards come up in MH3, which is just around the corner as well. All those factors considered, you've got a card that should be worth more like $10 to $15, worth $50.
Right. So our COVID spike had it like all up to about 135, goes down into the 30s. And now we're seeing it. Yeah.
Note also that the COVID spike coincides with, you see the expansion symbol there with Modern Horizons 2, which had the squirrel on the cover of the package. And when that package was unveiled shortly before the release of the set is when this card began to spike, like fucking apeshit.
TCG player seems to be ahead of MTG stocks in terms of price trending, which makes sense. MTG goes off what already sold, and TCG is getting it as it's selling. And so we're seeing, sales even at near mint, right? $40. Here's 44 as I come to the more recent ones, but this is just days now, right? Near mint at 45. So it's holding on around there. I mean, I would say, get ahead of this thing. Like with Mindbreak Trap, the Hermit, I could actually see this spiking a little bit, but I'm with you. Once the next set comes out, it's not going to take long people to go, oh, that was nice. But I just think the echo cost now, it doesn't make sense anymore.
1 card to purchase.
Well, thank you again. And our 1 to buy, not all doom and gloom. We start off with 2 to sell. So what is the one that you like now? What do we need to pick up? There's got to be something worth getting. And this is a card I do kind of like, especially because of this price point.
Dude, we're getting super dirty squirrely with this one. And I like this card for the same reason I don't like the last card. It's a squirrel and it's on the reserve list, but this one is underappreciated. It's like the little brother to the Deranged Hermit. It's Liege of the Hollows from Weatherlight.
4 mana this time, 3/4 creature, so not as brittle. If Liege of Hollows is put in any graveyard from play, each player may pay any amount of mana to put that number of squirrel tokens into play under his or her control. Treat them also as 1/1 green creatures. And when I look at this compared to the Echo, you got to spend that 5 mana anyway to keep them in play. Yes, it gives you the +1. This one allows you to time it up a little bit. but you have to get her into the graveyard. And that's another nice thing, right? Card economy, right? So often she's just 3-4, where I think about it. You can do a little damage with this one, harass your opponent, become something that they want to get rid of. So card for card on this one. So, but why do you like it so much more than the Range Hermit?
It's kind of like even in Commander, I think this is like even casual Commander. I don't know if you want to consider it fun, but what's cool about this card is this card can actually win you a game. This is an outlet for infinite mana, and no one's sitting on this card like Deranged Hermit. Like everybody knows what Deranged Hermit is. It's presumed to be like the more powerful card. A lot of that probably has to do with the infamous deck that I mentioned earlier that it's a part of, and Legion of the Hollows has never really been used in anything that was any good on a competitive scale. But you could throw a card like this in a Chatterfang, and there's multiple infinite mana outlets that you could generate and have an infinite number of 1/1 squirrel tokens that you can create by sacrificing this or whatever you have to do to get them into the graveyard. Right now, if you're looking at these prices on screen, we're seeing like near mint copies for as low as like $5 plus shipping. So if you include shipping, we're talking about $7 for near mint copies. My target price for this card is, I would say, a double up at $15, maybe $20 range. If you buy a brick of a couple hundred, or 50 to 100 of these, 50 of these at an average cost basis near mint of $7 is going to be $350. You can exit at 700 minus fees, 600, so it's almost a double up. They are essentially casual Commander cards. I could see a world where Legion of Hollows might be an infinite mana outlet in a tier 1.5 competitive Chatterfang deck. But other than that, it's basically a casual card. Right now, people aren't really talking about this card. Deranged Hermit's the reserve list squirrel card that people are focused on. Don't jump on the bandwagon with everybody else. Go against the grain. Buy a few copies of this card, flip it a few weeks or months down the road, and double up your money.
A card to speculate on. Also, murder.
It's a really interesting card. Eater of the Dead from the Dark.
Right? Oh boy, going way back.
Way back in the Wayback Machine. When probably, I believe that's...
Through the Dark!
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Eater of the Dead... And this isn't even a reserve list card. How very unlike you, Thallid. So,
see, what's cool about this card is although it's not reserve list, it only has one printing, right? Also, taking into account power creep and the body that you get for 5 mana being a 3/4 is not very good, and it's very unlikely that this card will ever be printed again. But the reason that I really like this card, I don't like this card long term. I like this card as a quick flip, speculative buy, and we're merely trying to get in front of a pump and dump on a card that exploits the new commit a crime card mechanic.
Which means if you target something, you have committed a crime.
Yes.
Which, frankly, I've been saying this shit for years when I play Magic. Anytime someone tries to target one of my creatures. What it is.
Yeah, you can. So with this card, and I've looked high and low, this is the best card that I've found that can commit a crime an infinite number of times. So there are potentials for loops with this card and committing a crime. All the speculators are going to be buying this card. If you jump onto this card before the speculators and you sell into the pump, then you're winning. You don't want to buy this card in a month. You don't want to buy this card in 2 weeks. You want to buy this card today, and you want to sell it in 2 weeks. This isn't a long-term hold. This is a quick flip. I wouldn't buy a large amount of them because you could be stuck with them. I would just, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, I must say. Right, Lily?
Well, I mean, maybe it is.
There they are, $17 now. They're saying.
Yeah,
I got one of these on Card Kingdom because I was just kind of wanted something cool to have even before Thunder Junction was released a few weeks back. I bought one, so $17. And look at this, March 26th to 28th. 1283. So someone is staring at these dark cards.
Someone decided that someone noticed this mechanic interaction when it was announced, obviously. But I think there's still enough room for a little bit of growth. Picking these up at the price, I would say a target price level. And keep in mind, I'm not saying go balls to the wall on this and buy a brick. Maybe buy like 5 or 10 copies and dump them for after fees and everything. Try to get a double up, maybe a little less than a double up.
Awesome. Any final words before we say arrivederci?
Subscribe, or else I'll cast Dismember on you while you sleep.
Magic.